showed up for court yesterday, but in the end, she didn't even go in. Now Britney Spears will have to wait another month to persuade a court commissioner to restore her visitation rights to see her two little boys. Her behavior, however, has become increasingly bizarre, and it's all playing out in the public eye. For more on her troubles, her legal woes, and otherwise, I'm joined by entertainment lawyer Alessia Bell and divorce lawyer Curt Arnel. Thank you both for being with me today.
Nice to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
Alessia, I want to start with you first. Britney loses custody in September. She loses visitation rights just over a week ago. She goes to court for a hearing on it and doesn't even enter. If you're representing her today, what do you advise her to do going forward?
I think, Mary, you beg her to go to court on the 19th and to show, on February 19th, and to show that she's in treatment. The commissioner seems to think that she has some mental health issues. Obviously, we as the public are seeing that played out. She has to go and show that she's taking care of them, and then maybe the judge will restore her visitation.
And is there any indication that she has been doing anything to care for herself, whether it be psychologically, physically?
Not only is there no indication that she's helping herself, she hasn't even shown up in court. I mean, that is like the worst thing that a client could do. And in fact, I see that her attorneys are trying to drop her as a client. That means that she is just not listening to their advice.
Right. Curt, how do you control how do you control a client like her? Two attorneys or teams of attorneys have already fired her. And now she's on to her third. What do you do?
Well, occasionally when you have a client like that that's out of control, you really have to sit them down and explain to them that they're essentially taking a page from their adversary's playbook and playing right into the other side, and sometimes you won't be able to recover the ground that's lost. So it's very essential that she gets the message that she has to start to listen to her attorneys and understand that her actions are going to have a long-term impact on her access to her children.
Yeah, and it seems like she's just not getting that message, unfortunately. I mean, she's clearly hit rock bottom here. It seems like it is a huge cry for help. But there doesn't seem to be anyone out there that she wants to listen to or who can really help her at the moment through this process.
Well, in my experience, we've had family and sometimes extended family members, when they are rational themselves, step in and participate and have meetings and explain and try to get family friends involved, sometimes religious officials if they're involved with their church or synagogue, and anybody that they will listen to in order to try to get them to get the message straight that they have to show up to court and they have to participate and they have to get treatment as necessary and participate and show the judge that, or the commissioner in this case, that they are very, very interested in restoring a meaningful, normal relationship with their children.
We don't know much of what happened at the hearing yesterday because it was a closed hearing, so the testimony hasn't been revealed, but there's some exhibits that have been reported, at least one of them being this 72-hour detention order. Can you explain for our viewers what that is, Curt, and what it means, and how that could impact her going forward in her custody fight for kids?
Well, I haven't seen this particular order, but there are times when, if you're referring to people who need to be evaluated, or sometimes in cases that involve forensic evaluators, which could be psychologists and psychiatrists, to meet with a person and see if there's a reason, if there's a mental illness, if there's an imbalance, if it's a medical issue, some reason to explain the irrational behavior, because in the end they want to get to what's in the children's best interests, and until you get the parent to get back on a level plane, acting rationally and normally, they won't be able to get to what's best for the children in that instance.
Back with me to talk about Britney Spears is Alessia Bell and Curt Arnel. We were talking about how trial is set for April, which is just a few months away, and what realistically does Britney Spears have to do between now and April, which is the trial where the judge will make a permanent determination and a final determination with regard to custody? What does she have to do?
Britney has to first and foremost get treatment for her issues, whether they be mental health or substance abuse. She has to marshal as many witnesses as she can, showing her improvement and showing a positive relationship between her and positive mothering of Sean and Jaden. And most importantly, she's got to get visitation. She has to get this order lifted on the 19th of February so she can be with her children.
I mean, is the court going to be inclined to give her visitation given, the litany of events that have occurred since September here?
No, absolutely not. The court is looking out for the best interests of these little boys, and the real tragedy is that the court wants to give a mother access to her children. And, Britney has done so many dramatic, obviously the court perceives as dangerous things. And no, it's not likely at all. It's really a tragedy, most of all for the little boys.
And in April, when the hearing ultimately, comes to a head, which is when he'll make his final determination, if she loses custody, will she have a chance thereafter to get it back?
Yes, she will. Under California law, custody orders are revisited, visitation orders are revisited. She will be able to go in and say, look, I've been working, I've been getting better, been addressing my issues, please give me a chance to see my boys, give me a chance to get certain kinds of custody back. But it's going to be a struggle.
Yeah, and I think you really hit the nail on the head, because not only does the judge, but Kevin Federline also wants her to have custody and visitation with these children. It seems like right now Britney is really her own worst enemy.
Absolutely.
And Curt, final question for you.
Sure.
There is another hearing set for February 19th. What do we expect to see at that hearing? Will we see more witnesses at that hearing, or will it just be Britney Spears and her attorney, or maybe just her attorney?
Well, that's going to depend a lot on whether or not Britney gets the message between now and then. If Britney gets the message and she changes her behavior and she gets the treatment that she needs to deal with either her real issues or at least the issues that she's perceived to have in the court, sort of like bad press because of the way she's acting, and she can demonstrate to the court that she's addressed those issues, then little by little the court would probably trust her more towards giving her more visitation, maybe daytime, maybe supervised, and then if she behaves well and returns the children when she should and doesn't have any more of these returning the children issues or standoffs as she allegedly had last week, she could continue to get more and more time with the children.
Miguel
and
Marquez
eventually
in Los Angeles.
have a hearing and explain to the court why she should continue to have more and more expanded visitation. If she gets the treatment and she can bring in witnesses to say she's been treated or certificates from programs that she went to that have credibility, then I'm sure the commissioner would listen to that, and combined with good behavior, she could get back in the game.